Some of the feedback that I got on my first episode is that there should be more Penelope, and I agree. So, Penelope. Pete. Hey, Goof. Come on up. Hi. Welcome to episode 2 of Beagles and Locks. So anyway, today I'm gonna make a Dalgona coffee that is dog friendly. Dogs they don't react well to caffeine, and it affects them much more than it affects us. Initially, when I was thinking of doing this, I was thinking of doing, just a Dalgona coffee and giving it to Penelope, but then I realized that that's not gonna work. So I figured I would call my friend Christopher Farron, who works for Phoenix Coffee, which is a great coffee roastery in Cleveland, and get some advice. So let's FaceTime him. Come on, P. Come on, let's FaceTime Christopher. Come on, let's go. Come on. Hi, Christopher.
Hey, Nolan. How's it going?
Pretty good. How are you?
Oh, not too bad.
Yeah. So I wanted to ask you a few questions about Dalgona coffee. I want to make one for Penelope, but I think in order to create something like a Dalgona that is dog safe, I need to understand what it is. So I was hoping you could explain to me what a Dalgona coffee is.
Sure, yeah. So pretty simply, Dalgona coffee, which is like the newest Instagram trend right now, is instant coffee with sugar and a little bit of water, and you whip it to create this foam emulsion that you can float on top of your milk or your cream, and make this layered beverage that is sweet and coffee-like and very rich.
Yeah, cool. Thank you. So,
Yeah.
One of the problems with creating a caffeine-free version, well, so dogs can't have caffeine, so I need to create something that either uses maybe decaf, maybe you can tell me if that would work, or something else. And I also want to create a lower sugar version because dogs can't have that much sugar. And the one that I had, I made a Dalgona for myself, and it was super sweet, and it was tasty, but it was way too sweet to give to a dog.
Right, yeah. I mean, the reason that coffee works so well is because it has a class of chemicals called surfactants, it's a portmanteau for surface active agents. The reason that you get that foam on top of your espresso, the crema. It basically just creates an emulsion with what's in there. So that's why coffee is a preference, and then sugar acts as a stabilizer for the foam. So we're going to have to replace both of those things. I wouldn't use decaf just because decaf does still tend to have caffeine, and we don't really know how much, and I don't think it's worth taking that risk. So we can look to tea maybe, which should have some of those surfactants. It doesn't have the protein that you get from coffee, though. So we need to find a source of protein, and then a source of a kind of a stabilizer, since you're not going to use as much sugar.
Okay, cool. Thank you. I'll try it out, and I'll let you know how it turns out. And maybe you can start serving them at Phoenix.
Well, I hope you and Penelope enjoy.
Yeah, cool. Well, thank you. I'll talk to you later.
Sounds good. See ya.
See ya. What we learned from Christopher is that we can't make a Dalgona coffee for dogs because decaf also has caffeine in it, and really it's just not good for them. So what I've decided to do is make a Dalgona tea sort of latte for Penelope. So as long as the tea is caffeine free, which all herbal tea should be caffeine free, it's okay for dogs. You should just research before you give your dog herbal tea what they can and can't have. To make this Dalgona foam, I think what I'm gonna use is chamomile tea, brown sugar, some cream from Wholesome Valley Farms, which is here in Cleveland, and egg whites that I have left over from making ice cream yesterday, which is making me think that I am probably gonna make ice cream episode 3. It's decided. So basically what I think I'm gonna do is use the egg whites to create a meringue, and then I'm gonna stiffen it with a little bit of light brown sugar. Sugar is also something that dogs should, they're not too different from humans. They shouldn't have too much caffeine or sugar or salt. So we're gonna put a little bit of sugar in there just to give the meringue some structure, but we're not gonna do too much. And then I'm gonna use a little bit more sugar to create a syrup with the tea, and then I think I'm gonna whip it into the egg whites. I like these videos because they've given me an excuse to get dressed again. And yeah, it's fun. Penelope. Peek. What up? I'm gonna start by boiling a cup and a half of water. Again, I'm making this up as I go along, so. Okay, with the water boiling, we're adding, I'm gonna do 3 tea bags, and I'm gonna put them in for, the instructions say 5 minutes. I think I'm gonna do it for like 7 minutes, because I want this to be really strong, because it's gonna get kind of diluted. So I'm actually going to let this boil down quite a bit, so that it becomes a lot more concentrated. Now I'm just wondering why I never, Penelope left her bed. She was not supposed to. I have a feeling I know where she is. Her dog trainer is probably watching this, and she's gonna tell me that I should put her back in the bed, but I just, look at her, she's so happy. All right, the amount of liquid has reduced a lot, so we're gonna take the tea bags out. And then we're gonna add in, I think it's probably about a 1/4 cup of sugar. A lot of Dalgona recipes ask for a lot more, but I'm trying to keep it to a minimum, but also I want the structure of the meringue to happen, so I have to use some. Isn't this the cutest bowl you've ever seen in your whole life? It's from a local ceramicist, Judith Solomon, whose work I love. So I'm gonna throw in, there's another no, and I'm gonna stir it up and keep it moving until everything's dissolved. And then once it's dissolved, we want to stop stirring it, because if you mess with sugar too much while it's cooking, it kind of doesn't really work. She's interested. All right, it's probably been like 3 minutes, and the liquid, you can't really see because of all the steam, is pretty reduced, and it's a lot darker than it was. Still pretty liquidy. I'm gonna pour it out. We're gonna let it cool for a minute. There is like a 40-60 chance that this is gonna work. So we'll see. As I've said 1,000 times, I'm making all of this up, but I can touch it and it doesn't really burn me. It's definitely hot still, but it's not like super hot. So I'm gonna go ahead and get the egg started. I will take my egg yolks and put them in my stand mixer and put it on to maybe 2 until it mixes and becomes a little frothy, and then bring it up. And as the eggs get white and foamy, we're gonna add in slowly the syrup. And maybe we'll call it a day there. So yeah, I mean, it's foam. And it tastes good. Wow, I didn't expect that to work. Okay, cool. So I decided not to use the cream. I didn't need it because this worked a little bit better than I expected it to. But I do have some whole milk, and let's assemble these coffees. Well, teas. So we're gonna do even amounts of milk. We're gonna add some Dalgona foam. So one reason I think that the original recipe uses so much sugar is because it creates this like really beautiful, smooth foam, and we're not getting that here. It looks a little bit more like a cloud and less like, you know, a smooth thing. But, you know, if that's because there's no less sugar in it, then I'm okay with it, because sugar is not really good for you or your dog. So there you have it. We got 2 dog-friendly herbal tea Dalgonas. Of course, they're human-friendly too, so I'm gonna put a straw in mine. And we're gonna take these out on the patio. Sit. Okay. Okay, so that was a success. I'm gonna dump the milk and ice into her bowl because she was having trouble getting to it. There she goes. Now it's all hers. Honestly, it's pretty tasty. I would make this again just for myself. I feel like normal dalgona is just too sugary, too sweet anyway, so like this is actually drinkable, and that's nice. Ugh, okay, she's got some milk on her face still. Thanks for watching our video. Subscribe if you want. Don't subscribe if you don't want. That's okay. I won't be offended. Let me know if you have any feedback for me, and if you have a favorite meal but you want a version of it that you can also share with your dog, just let me know what that dish is and I will try to come up with a recipe for you that you can share with your pup. Thanks for watching. Bye.